Who has their sheet? Mine's laying over here. Here he goes with that. No, don't do that again. Makes me nervous enough while videotaping me. I'll try to behave myself. Okay. First thing you need to know is vehicle make. Obviously, this is a Chevrolet. This thing here is a Jeep. Okay.
Yes.
We got that far? Okay. Now, it says make, model. Okay. This is an S10, and that's a Liberty. Okay. And then year. Okay. And which digit tells what the year tells us what the year is? Yeah, there you go. See, then we would know after. Okay, and there's the chart, by the way, right there behind you on the wall. Yeah. Okay. So, engine size. Look, this is 2.8 liter right there on the front of the truck. VIN sticker, emission stickers right here. Okay. This is a 6-cylinder. Okay. And then cooling system capacity. Okay. This particular truck does not have a trailer towing package on it, but it does have air conditioning on it. And that would be something that would increase the capacity of the cooling system. Specific accessories, that's what you would write down. Okay. And then you're going to have to look up the cooling system capacity. So the first thing it says is make a visual inspection of hoses. Okay. You are going to do your visual inspection from end to end on the hoses, like the upper radiator hose right here. Okay. Use your fingers also. Okay. Squeeze along the entire length. If you find a soft spot in it, okay, that is cause for concern. Or if you see that it is expanded and enlarged. Okay. So we have the upper radiator hose right here. The lower radiator hose is usually down at the bottom of the radiator. Squeeze along the entire length. This one's a little wet for some reason or other. Okay. I don't think it's anything to be concerned about because people have been doing cooling system inspection on this. Okay. Now, if you find a spring inside of the lower radiator hose, do not be alarmed by such a thing. Okay. Now, that spring is there for a purpose to keep the lower hose from collapsing on initial startup. Okay. And warm up. Now, water pump. Okay. Mr. Tomosic talked about the weep hole. If you look at this water pump, I don't see it on this one. You should be able to find the weep hole, okay? And it should be at the top of the radiator, of the top of the water pump, okay? Where the shaft goes in. Okay, so look for that, okay? Make sure there's nothing coming out of it. Also check the bearings in the water pump by grabbing the fan on either side and wiggling it back and forth. There is a little bit of movement in that one. Nothing to get too alarmed about. Okay. Now, radiator surface. Go to the bottom of the radiator and run your fingers along the fins, and if they crumble and fall out, then you have an issue. Okay. Or if they are totally missing. Okay. This one seems fairly decent. Now, fan clutches. Where the fan clutch goes together, okay? You need to look for oil being spun out of it. And if you have the vehicle off and you spin that fan and it just spins freely, okay, then it's time to replace that fan clutch, okay? So, the next thing, okay? Okay, type of antifreeze, okay? This has ethylene glycol in it. Never open the radiator cap when an engine is hot. Never open the radiator cap when the engine is hot. Never open the radiator cap when the engine is hot. Guess how we can tell that? Grab the upper radiator hose, squeeze it, okay? If it doesn't have pressure on it and it's not hot, then you are safe to remove the radiator cap, okay? All right. Now, So this is ethylene glycol, and I went to get this tester, and it didn't wind up back over here. I don't know how that happened. Ethylene glycol. If you read on here, it says ethylene glycol antifreeze tester. Guess what? You could find your spelling on here. Okay. So squeeze the bulb, install the coolant into the antifreeze, draw it up, and then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 disc loading. So we come down to 5. It says negative 34 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 37 degrees Celsius. Now, if you do not have room to reinstall the antifreeze back into the radiator, put it in the overflow jug, okay? Don't put it in your pocket. Or your friend's pocket. Notice I'm holding the hose up when I take it out, not dripping it all over the floor. Now, this is one type of cooling system hydrometer, okay? I like that, okay? It's inexpensive and it's functional. Now, this is another type, okay? It's fairly inexpensive and functional, but it's kind of a pain, okay? You draw the coolant up, put the little red thing right there into the crosshatch area, and then it'll swing up and you'll read the temperature, okay, of the protection level, okay? Now, if you really want to get fancy, this will test different types of antifreeze, okay? And, okay, it's really kind of cool to use. And normally there is a syringe in here that we can draw some antifreeze up and put a drop on the lens, okay? I'm not sure what happened to it. I think somebody ate it, so we'll put a drop out of my okay. So you're going to hold this. This is one time where I will not yell at you if you take your safety glasses off. So you're going to find where it says ethylene glycol. It says negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 40 degrees Celsius. I'll pass it around so you can see that blue line across there. If you have to wear glasses, it's kind of a pain. If you have safety glasses on, you can take them off and then you can see it better. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you I got pink eye. You should have videotaped that. The look on its face was priceless. I am just kidding, of course. Wow, cool, isn't it? This was about 75 bucks 10 years ago. Now it's probably 125 bucks. I'm not sure. And those are about 8 bucks. So, you can tell a price difference. Obviously, if you're going to be checking the freeze point protection on more than just a couple of vehicles, you might want something like this. Now take it over to the sink when you're done with it and rinse it off, please. So that the next person that uses it on a different type of vehicle you don't mix the types of antifreeze. That worked out well, didn't it? Okay, and then put it back in the box because we tend to be losing things around here. Okay. No.
You're making a mess.
Did I? I didn't do that.
The big tester.
Yeah, because my paper towel didn't come off like I thought it would. Anybody know what type of antifreeze this is for? The red one. Okay. Yes. Propylene glycol, Dex Cool, whatever floats your boat, like the red one, as you said. Okay. Now, this gets confusing because remember this was for testing ethylene glycol, okay, green antifreeze, and a black top. And this one is for testing propylene glycol. Now, propylene glycol, you should have videotaped that too. The propylene glycol is environmentally friendly. That's why we have the green top for the red antifreeze. Okay, save the trees and the whales. Okay, all right. All right. Oh no, you don't have to videotape the fat old man picking that up. Okay. All right. What's the next thing on our list?
What about testing the yellow one?
Testing the yellow one? I suggest that you use this. Okay. Monoethylene glycol. All right. Okay, what's our next thing we're doing here? Pressure test a cap. Okay, now, remember I showed you? No, I didn't show you guys anything, did I? All right, come in here. I can't remember what group is what. All of these adapters are for various types of automobiles. It's for testing the cooling system pressure and for testing the cap. Now, I will tell you that we probably do not have everyone for every vehicle. I'm not sure about the Volkswagen, and I'm not sure about the Honda because there have been issues with that, okay? So, at one point in time there was one style of cap. The old cooling system pressure testers worked quite well for that. So, now we had to change it and have all the different ones that are adapters, okay? So if you come back out here to this one, I will, lost my cooling system. Okay, the black case has the newer snap-on cooling system pressure testers in it. Somebody came to me this morning and they go, this isn't working. Yeah, they were using one of the newer or one of the older ones, and yes, the leather inside of them has gotten bad, and I don't even know if that's available anymore, and it has a tendency not to work correctly. Where do we find out what pressure this should be at?
On the top of the cap.
Top of the cap, okay. And this is a 15 PSI cap. Now, put my glasses back on so I can see. At about 13, 14 pounds, this thing loses the pressure, okay? So this cap is not good. This adapter, by the way, came out of one of the old cooling system testers, okay? Now, we will put this on here. Turn it to the first latch there. Make sure that these ears are loose. And we're going to pump it up to what? 15, okay? Okay, now, if you pump it up like that, and you say, oh, look, it made it to 15, I'm good. And you like take it off and, call it good. If you have a slow leak, you have not actually done your job, okay? So leave it on there for a little bit, okay? And do the rest of your inspection, okay? You need to do a visual inspection for leaks, okay? So now's a good time to do that. Places like the thermostat housing, the hose clamps on the hoses, okay? Upper and lower, the weep hole, okay? And then we have the heater hoses, okay? Now, now's a good time to inspect the heater hoses as well, okay? All right, and we're gonna leave that on there for a minute, and we are gonna go ahead and check the heater core. Now, it used to be that 90% of the vehicles that you encountered had both heater hoses on the passenger side, okay, over here. So you would know that's where you would check the floor mat or the carpet area inside the passenger compartment to see if it was leaking, okay? That is not true anymore. I think the 300C is on the driver's side or in the middle, okay? So don't be surprised if you find heater hoses in different locations other than just over here on the passenger side. I'm gonna go in here and feel the carpet, pull the mat back and take a look at it, okay, as much as I can. Now, if you have a car that you start up in the morning and you turn your heater or your defroster on and your windows kind of fog up, okay, and you have this sweet smell like antifreeze inside your car, and then it goes away, okay, you have the start of a heater core that's starting to leak, okay. Sometimes they'll do that for a while, okay, and then all of a sudden they go whoosh, and then it really stinks, and then you're losing coolant, and then the carpet's really wet, so you have a serious problem, okay? So, we have done that, okay? Now, we are still at 16 pounds, okay? Now, when you go to remove the cooling system pressure tester, it's essential that you do this slowly, okay? So you're gonna turn it clockwise, okay? On these two ears right here, slowly relieve the pressure. If you do it fast, if you just take it off, you're gonna get covered in antifreeze and there's gonna be a big mess on the floor that you're gonna have to clean up, okay? So clockwise, slowly bring these ears up. You can hear the pressure coming off of it. And you can also watch the gauge as it comes down. Is it down yet? What's it to? Neither can I. I'm old. 3, 2, 1.
Still at like 2.
You don't like this one, he's videotaping because I can't ask questions. Certain questions. Get somebody in trouble. Yes, sir. Thank you. Huh?
Why does it look like that?
Does it look like this? I will explain that to you in a moment. Okay? See what I told you about releasing it too quick? What? Electric thermometer? Probably right there on the bench. I can't. Okay. And then remove it once you have this pressure off.
Once you make a mess.
Yeah, why not? All right. So we'll put this back in the box.
Finish your sentence.
Okay.
Oh.
And I'll put the cap back on if I can find it. Okay. So we don't lose that.
How do you choose the adapter for testing cap? You just
Find the one that fits. Probably took the one out. Okay. Yeah, he did. All right. So. Heater control valve, we don't have anything in here with a heater control valve on it, okay? Now, the exhaust hose is on this Jeep. Okay? If you read the directions on this tool, okay, it says to start the vehicle with, put the cap all the way back on and then start the vehicle. I don't like that idea. First of all, you know, think about this. 200-degree coolant, 16 pounds of pressure in a hole about that big, and you take that cap off, where's that coolant going? Out. Okay, onto your skin, and then your skin's going down there on the floor, okay, as it falls off, okay, because you scalded the skin off of your arm, okay? Don't do that, okay? I like to put it on the first notch, okay, so it doesn't build pressure. Okay? By the way, you can always squeeze an upper radiator hose and make sure that it doesn't have pressure on it before removing it. Okay. The exhaust hose is on the back of this vehicle. It's in the floor. I'm going to start this thing. I know. Okay. Now, if you read the directions on this, which it goes in that box over there, okay, it says start engine, run until normal operating temperature is reached, use caution and remove radiator cap, make sure coolant level is at least 2 inches down in the coolant system in the radiator neck so that you don't draw antifreeze up into here. You draw antifreeze up into here, we're going to have to start over, okay? You are using this tool to check for combustion gases in the cooling system, okay? So, if you look at this right now, it's blue, right? Everybody see that? All right. So, I'll come over here to this vehicle, and I'll carefully remove the radiator cap. And I will insert this in there. And begin squeezing this ball. Okay. Now, obviously you see that the color is staying blue. If there were combustion gases in the cooling system, it would turn to green and then to yellow. Okay? Would you actually like to see it change color? Okay. We'll leave this thing run. Everybody come back here to the exhaust hose. This is not part of your lab. This is not part of the demo. But I do want you to see it function. Okay? All right. See the bottom one start to turn yellow? Top one starts to turn yellow. Greenish yellow, and then to yellow, 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 like the snow you're not supposed to eat. Okay. Now that you see that, do you think that this fluid in here is junk? No, it is not. How do you think we get it back to blue? It's like magic. I just go like this. Okay. How about we reintroduce oxygen into it? It's a little slow to respond. Could be because we're standing back here by this exhaust hose too. See it starting to turn again? It'll go back to being blue. Isn't that cool? And this stuff can be used over and over again as long as you don't suck cool enough into it. If you suck cool enough into it, we're done. We got to clean it out, rinse it out, and start over. Okay? Now, if I can find the laser gun, we'll go back up and do the upper and lower radiator hose and the heater hoses, and then you guys will be ready to go. Okay, let's go to the front of the vehicle. When you're done with this, you can just lay it back in the box. Okay. That one is 105 degrees. This one is 118 degrees. Which one's the inlet? alternator. The 118, it's the one on my side, closest to me. Okay. Everybody see that? Now, upper radiator hose is at 92 degrees, 93 degrees, and then you got to find the lower radiator hose. And it's at 93.1 because the thermostat hasn't opened yet. Okay. So when you're doing the slab, you're going to let the vehicle warm up. And it's been really interesting because second hour, some people said it didn't take long for the Jeep to warm up. I said, no, it's because I used it for my demo, so it had already warmed up partially before you know. The exhaust hoses are under the benches. Obviously, you see the port that it's in on the floor. And the green button in front of the 300C is how you turn it on and off. Okay? Any questions? Any comments or complaints? Okay. Have a wonderful day. You guys get to do the lab now. Okay?